Hello, I'm Lofi.
I'm Jinxie.
And we are continuing Outlander. We are now on the second episode of season 2. And a lot happened in the first one.
Yeah, it was a very intriguing episode. Oh my god.
I thought it was a really good opener.
Yeah, it definitely was a really good opener. And some of you have said this is your favorite season, so I'm really excited to see what's up next. I do want to say slightly off topic of that, like, it is rare that a second season is the best season, so that's actually a really good sign. Yeah, well, I mean, it's favorite season. It might not be the best. We'll see. Oh, you know what? Everybody say what your favorite season is.
Yeah.
Then we'll get an idea.
Know. I just feel like
if it ends up being, like, pretty even, like, then that means that it's, like, a really even show. Mm-hmm. And that people just have, like, personal preferences for the season versus, like, just a bad season versus a good season kind of thing.
I just feel like a lot of shows, the second season is usually, like, that sophomore slump where you're like, you've got to get through that season. So, yeah. People say their favorite, though. That's a good sign.
Yeah, it is. I don't know if we're going to see more of the future and her figuring out how to get back to the past, or if it's like
a preview for later in the season.
A preview, yeah. And then we're just going to start focusing more now on the historical side of it, and to see how she got to that point.
I kind of want them to do both. I mean, the thing is, I say that now, but of course I'm probably going to like whatever they do. But I think my curiosity wants them to do both is what it is. Like, my need to know wants them to do both.
Yeah. I'm really excited to see them doing the winery and all this stuff in France. We just got a little peek of France when in the last episode, so I'm excited to see more.
And they've already made an enemy, and smallpox is in town.
Yes.
So, off to a strong start.
Oh my god, let's go!
Yes.
Oh my gosh, the dress! The dress!
So pretty! Oh, the bows!
Is it Claire, though, or some other person? I want to eat a cookie because it's a sex scene.
Yeah, I was afraid of some, like, PTSD flashback thing.
That's a nightmare. Mm-hmm. Oh, poor Jamie.
I do appreciate that they don't just gloss over it and forget about the rest of the season, though.
Yeah.
He's alive. In my head.
I still want him to die.
I know.
Claire, tell us when his death was. We'll have, like, a calendar and we'll mark off X days until he dies.
I don't think it's really helpful, though, to his actual healing.
Oh, no, it's for my satisfaction. Sorry, not for Jamie. Just for me.
Oh, okay.
Just for me.
Blackjack Randall is dead.
Oh.
What?
So did his death already happen, then?
Did I miss something?
No, I don't think they told us.
I noticed Madame has folded her clothes again this morning.
Wow. This is like a cross between the 18th century and the Dior new look.
I will endeavor to be sloppier in my personal habits. Oh, Madame. Oh, that would make me so happy.
Yeah.
I do want to say that I don't think Blackjack is dead. Because off-screen deaths, I never believed them.
Yeah. And also the problem is, since they've been messing with history, he could have been set to die, but then didn't.
I had hoped to climb to the top of the Eiffel Tower, but the Nazis had closed it during the occupation. Now I had arrived 100 years before it existed.
She misses it every time. I can't get over this outfit. I just can't.
Right. Was that something about crocodile on the label?
Mustard.
Oh, I like his vest.
Oh yeah, the embroidery with the eye. I see it.
Combined with a touch of humulus lupus.
It's just pretty sharp.
I know.
I like it.
I always wanted my own rolling ladder room.
Size and overall look is as stated. Your name wouldn't happen to be Claire Fraser, would it?
What?
She famous?
Comte Saint-Germain told me all about your part in the burning of his pox-afflicted vessel, Patagonie.
He's probably going around spreading rumors.
And since he's your enemy as well, you must, in point of fact, be my friend.
Well, I hope that's true, because you seem like a cool guy.
I guarantee he will keep you awake all night with his snoring.
Hopefully it works.
This is their rehab for his fingers. Fighting in a public park.
Dueling's outlawed in France. No doubt they think we mean to run each other through.
Oh.
Another wrong to mark against this misery of a country.
Oh, Murtaugh.
It's the air.
Asses and armpits.
I mean, it must be especially hard for him, because he doesn't fit in there at all. I'm glad they have him along.
Me too.
For all we know, the death of his son would make James even more determined to sit on the English throne.
I talk of action. And you give me logic.
How dare you?
I mean, I'd be very nervous if they tried to assassinate the royalty, so...
It's like good old-fashioned brawl.
Hopefully it's good news.
Was it an invitation?
Yeah, it said Prince Charles on it, I think.
Miss Charles Stewart requests the company of Lord Proctor James Fraser to discuss such matters as the current political situation amongst the Scottish clans.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Maison de Madame Elise. What is that?
It's a brothel.
Awkward.
It's like, what?
I mean, it makes sense, though. You need to kind of go somewhere where, like, if you're going to talk rebellion, people won't, you know, spill the beans.
Spill the beans. I am nervous and excited.
I know.
But getting involved with, like, that high up, you know, the prince.
I mean, granted, we also still think this whole
the
idea
king
of stopping the rebellion is wrong. So.
Oh, yeah, totally. Totally. But, I mean, how could it go even more wrong than what we imagined how wrong it would go? Probably, yes.
So many golf claps.
Well, they're not ready to hear the call of the pipes, nor likely to be so for many years to come.
Damnable defeatist talk is what it sounds like, and very peculiar coming from a supposed Jacobite.
He wanted him to be truthful.
Right.
You asked for the truth, and the truth is what I gave you. Would you rather I whispered honeyed words of reassurance in your ear?
I mean, probably. He doesn't seem like he's doing anything.
I mean, yeah, you did ask for the truth.
Wishing has proven time and again to be no match for the muskets of the British Army.
I mean, hopefully, if they don't stop the rebellion, they can at least make it better.
I mean, I think Jamie's trying to get him, you know, more disheartened, but...
Yeah.
Disheartened, but...
And what about God's truth? It is God's will that I, Charles Stewart, unite the clans. It is God's will that I be the beacon of light, for I am, by divine right, the outstretched hand of God.
Then you gotta prove it.
Right?
I know.
This is a really fascinating conversation right now. Like,
well, partially because he does seem just like a entitled English guy.
Mm-hmm.
I see you have the heart of a true patriot, willing to risk my divine wrath in order to safeguard your countrymen. Go to the court of Louis.
They're gonna go to the court? I'm excited.
I wonder what he's gonna do, though, if he gets there.
I mean, I think it's pretty clear that he is not...
in touch.
Yeah, in touch. Living in an ivory tower, even if he's exiled somewhere else.
The man is a blockhead, and a dangerous one at that.
Yep.
Oh my
He
gosh,
gets
look at
all
her
killed
robe
if we don't
thing.
stop him.
I wouldn't have trusted Prince with Lallybroch's vegetable patch.
Charles isn't ready to set sail for Scotland anytime soon. You'll have time to open his ears.
Don't be for naught, I'm afraid.
I mean, if he believes that it's God's will,
Yeah,
you're
he
not
believes
going to convince him otherwise.
It's his divine right. I still want to see them in court, though, so I'm kind of excited. I'm going to see some court dresses.
But she has a tendency to bite. The bite of the man is desirable, but the bite of the monkey, not so much.
She's so over the
I
top.
know. She always just finds the most, like, over-the-top women.
Right?
But I'm as good as naked.
Is she English as well?
Mary Hawkins, madame.
Mary Hawkins? Oh, I'm sure I've heard that name before somewhere.
Is she, like, an author or something?
Or like a famous person, you know, like someone who did something.
Suffragette or something like that. Or something to do with the revolution.
I'm writing her name down, just in case.
Vicomte Marigny. Is he the older gentleman with all the
What?
She already knows.
Did she murder him?
That's what she's famous for. I feel like she'd have to be pretty famous for her to remember her name.
No, I mean, not necessarily, because she grew up with, like, archaeologists and stuff, so it might just be random history knowledge in her brain.
You shall accompany Mary and me to Versailles.
Thank you, Louise. Perhaps I can bring my husband.
If you must. In Paris, a hairless mount is de rigueur. and so painful when it is pulled off.
She's like hiding behind her.
Claire's just like, why? She got waxed.
What have you done to yourself?
And I also did these.
That's bad enough, but
It's cookie time.
Fingers crossed it's not turned into a nightmare.
I know. I think it's partially the time jump, the 3-month time jump, but it's nice to see them like kind of healing and like reconnecting instead of just so focused on things going wrong. Oh, Blackjack, why?
It's okay. It's okay.
I mean, it's a little bit of improvement on the last episode, so of them like him being starting to become a little bit more emotionally ready to be like a little bit more intimate.
Yeah. Yeah, even if you like, yeah, it still takes time, but
yeah. 2 more weeks. Time is just passing in a flash.
Well, you'll probably be the only one at court with your beard.
Oh my gosh, is she wearing red?
expect me to shave for a bunch of French
Is this the
folk.
famous red dress that people
I
have
guess
said
so.
about? Wait, what are those shoes?
Yeah.
Oh my god, those shoes.
I mean, they did say she could a dress fit for a queen.
Wow.
Berta, please try not to insult too many people tonight.
Even he looks impressed.
It's gorgeous.
Oh, but so it takes up the whole walkway.
Yeah.
Are you mad, woman? You can see every inch of you, right down to your 3rd rib.
Buyers.
Oh no! She's too exposed.
Yeah. He's like, it's my way.
He was
Stop
beautiful,
looking.
Claire. Don't listen to him.
Right. You're in France. Do what the French do.
I can see right down to your navel. Sure you don't mean to go out in public like this? Listen, first year honeypot, I knew this.
You knew she was adventurous when you married her, okay?
I suppose it'll have to do.
I'm so glad.
Oh, I already thought of that.
Wait.
You're gonna need a larger fan.
I'm so glad they're giving each other flirty flirts
Right.
because
And
their relationship is so cute.
fancy parties.
Wow, look at her blue one. I love the ribbony things.
I love it still with all the bows.
Yeah, me too. I'm a fan of all the bows. So I guess she was the one getting dressed in the beginning.
Oh man, what if we know Mary's name because she gets murdered? You know, like that's what I'm afraid of.
Mon petit sauvage, c'est bien toi?
Annalise.
Are they cousins or something?
You might want to introduce her, like,
Right.
now?
She's like, yeah.
Claire, laisse-moi te présenter une vieille amie, Annalise de Maya.
Ex-girlfriend.
Let me congratulate you on having won such a strong, passionate man for her husband.
Well, at least she seems happy for her and not jealous like Leary or something.
Yeah.
I would not want
Anything
a
an
Leary
improvement of that.
0.2, you know?
Yeah.
Did he fight many duels to win your affection?
Actually, he won my heart without having to draw his sword.
It was just one duel.
Oh, he's enjoying this so much.
Annalise ended up marrying the lucky fellow.
Oh, how romantic. He's dead. Smallpox.
Oh. Well, you tried.
You're right. Also, I feel like Claire wasn't even jealous. She was just enjoying seeing him squirm.
L'Église se préoccupe de garder le peuple sur le chemin de la vertu et qu'elle laisse le roi en paix.
Is he going potty?
Yeah.
Dude, you have not been eating enough vegetables.
Peut-être pourrait-il montrer ses maîtrises de ses intestins.
Le roi n'a-t-il pas déjà entendu toutes les suggestions connues?
He's constipated.
They're all worrying over it.
I mean, how long has it been?
This is waiting.
Through,
Solving the
off
king's
through the shitter.
constipation problem.
Votre Majesté, puis-je vous présenter le seigneur Bractorac?
Close enough.
Unfortunately, the king has never acquired a taste for peasant food.
If you want to be regular.
Perhaps this would be the perfect time.
This is such an entertaining episode.
It is. She has like the biggest dress. It's so funny.
Love it.
Like, go big or go home.
Right?
I am told you are desirous of the company of Monsieur Joseph Duvernay. Since I alone in all of France answer to that name,
God, he's so skeevy.
You've been praying for.
God.
Instead, let me worship at your feet.
Monsieur, I think you are.
Is he a feet guy?
God.
He's a feet guy. Oh, God.
This is so ridiculous.
No, Jimmy, don't! That was the Minister of Finance.
Monsieur Duvernay.
Oh no! I mean, he didn't even hit him. He just like knocked him over, and he just like a piece of paper.
I told you that dress would bring us grief.
This isn't the time for "I told you so," Jamie.
All right. Maybe he didn't see who pushed him. Also, let's be real. He's probably not the first drunk guy to end up in there.
Oh no.
Please accept my most fervent apology for my beastly behavior.
I mean, at least he apologized right away.
Well, I mean, I think it's not uncommon, so he probably thought, the way it was approached.
I mean, we've already seen examples of the over-the-top French court cheating gossip stuff.
Yeah.
I have been known to brood over a board or two.
Wonderful. We must have a game. The king.
Oh, God, his hair.
Oh,
His poor
no.
hair. But I guess it's better to have it on than not
like
at all.
an 80s hairband.
Oh my God, her outfit. Well, now Claire's dress ain't so risque.
Yeah, right?
Judas!
Oh.
You're about to get your ass kicked, Duke of Sandringham.
Never draw your weapon in the presence of the king.
Just punch him. Just punch him.
Let's get you revenge in a different way.
If that's an apology, and I do hope it is, I accept with all good grace.
Apology for what?
I know, right?
Jamie, dear boy,
Don't dear boy him.
will you ever forgive me?
No.
All supporters of the Jacobite cause. Of course, you being an English aristocrat, that position makes you a traitor to the crown.
Your Grace, the fireworks are due to begin in a moment.
If you must cough on someone, find a servant.
Oh, no.
Not, oh no, she's not gonna get sick, but the Duke of Sandringham is.
No, he was talking to Mary. That's the girl.
Oh, shit! I didn't
Is
realize
she known
it's the
for
same
getting...
guy.
Yeah. Is she famous because she got, somebody else sick or something?
Alex is the younger brother of Captain Jonathan Randall, Esquire.
Are you kidding
I'll have to
me?
tell Jonathan that I've met you.
Tell him.
Oh, shit. Is it because she told him the day of his death?
Yeah.
He was able to avoid it?
I received a letter from Scotland this morning that he posted only 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
Can I be of assistance?
Yeah, you can throw yourself into the fire. That'll be helpful.
Ugh, you're so annoying.
I know. I hope he gets smallpox and dies. Slowly, painfully. Oh god, she's not having a good time at this party.
What would happen when Jamie found out that Blackjack Randall was alive? Would his need for vengeance eclipse our resolve to prevent the uprising? Should I even tell him?
It'd be worse if it was revealed. Tell him in a safe place.
Yeah, oh
you
yeah, you
guys
couldn't tell
alone
him
and
here,
stuff,
for
rather
sure.
than him finding out in a bad way later. Would be smarter, so he has time to process. Another fantastic episode. Wow.
No, it was really good.
Oh my gosh, I feel like this was okay till the end. Anyway,
I know, right?
an extremely just fun, entertaining, over the top episode,
But in good ways.
Oh yeah, totally. Because it kind of releases the tension from the last episode, which felt really dark. And, Claire was obviously in a dark place in the future and stuff like that. And there's so many questions and you just feel so tense about it that the beginning of this episode, it just feels kind of like a release.
Fun.
Look how much fun it actually was for these moments.
And because of that, I really want to just get the end out of the way first.
Okay,
I want
let's
to
talk about the
discuss
end
all the
first.
good parts.
Yeah, I think it's definitely because she told him. There's no other reason for him to live. So he was able to be careful on that day.
Or honestly, it could be other things. Like, they changed things, so therefore something else changed.
That's obviously a factor, but I think that the biggest thing is because if you knew the day you were going to die,
you might be more careful.
You'd be more careful that day. Yeah, he was injured, but he was able to prevent his own death.
Yeah.
So, but that does mean that she can change the future.
That's true. That is proof she knew the day that he was
going to die.
Unfortunately, just the thing that changed wasn't the thing she wanted.
Exactly.
And that's the consequences of trying to change things, though. Like, it doesn't always turn out the way you want. So
I cannot believe she encountered his younger brother. I can believe she encountered the Duke of Sandringham, because he's like he traveled all around. We saw him in Scotland, and he didn't live there, and he's just douche everywhere, spreading his douchiness around.
Right.
The smug look he gave her as he walked out.
I know.
I was like, come on.
Your comeuppance is gonna come, dude.
Yeah, right. The younger brother of Randall seemed nice, except for clearly he's going to die.
Yes.
From his coughing. Coughing equals death.
Maybe it's not smallpox. Maybe it's consumption.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I was like, what's the other big one? Yeah. TB.
Is she going to tell Jamie?
Also, I'm really curious about the whole thing with Mary Hawkins. So, obviously, yeah, it has to do with something. We just don't know what yet. Moving on from that.
Well, I mean, the whole thing is also, really quick, I didn't really believe he was dead anyway, because, as I said, off-screen deaths, very rarely do I believe that they actually occurred. Unless it's in a show that typically does, like, off-screen deaths. Like, they just always die off-screen.
Yeah, then or you find out something about the actor.
But that's not the case for here. Yeah. So, when they were just suddenly at the beginning of the episode, like, he's dead. I was like, that can't be right. That can't be right, because they know that we need the satisfaction of seeing him dead.
Well, especially because we also don't know if he has a kid yet.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, he kind of needs to have one.
Technically, he doesn't. So. Does he? Because he has his brother. So, because he could be we don't know if he's a direct descendant of Blackjack. He could be related, like, he could be a descendant of his brother.
No, I thought he was his great-great-great-grandfather.
Was he?
Yeah.
I don't remember. Sorry, I don't remember.
I thought he was something like that.
I thought he was just, like, my ancestor or something, because then he could be descendant of the brother instead of him. But then he looks really a lot like the brother. I mean, a lot like Blackjack, so I don't know.
Really? They look a lot alike? That's surprising.
But you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so the rest of the episode. I love the apothecary. I thought it looked really cool.
That was my
He's
favorite.
Entertaining. I hope we can trust him to be Claire's friend. Ooh, yeah, Murtaugh. Murtaugh's unhappiness of them working in the wine field and being in France.
He's so funny.
And all this stuff. He just wants to
so
go
happy
home.
He's there.
Yeah, me too. He's very entertaining, but he's also a nice contrast to Jamie, who's kind of I don't know, just very accepting of being in France.
Yeah. He's very big picture, while Murtaugh is, like, just sort of like a small town kind of guy.
Yeah.
He'll do, like, the things he needs to, but at heart, he's a small town kind of guy, you know? Right. He's like, I want to go to the pub, maybe get in a brawl, maybe kiss a girl.
Yes, and then, in contrast to both of them, is Claire, who's more adventurous. She's, like, all in. Like, Jamie's the in-between of Murtaugh, who doesn't want to do anything, and Claire, who's like, I want to try everything. But I think it's a factor of just her personality. Like I said, she's very adaptable and stuff. But also of, like, I'm in France.
Yeah, well, and also I think...
and I'm just going to have a good time.
At this point, being in France is a little more like being in modern times in terms of, like, freedoms and kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
So she might feel a little more comfortable. Obviously, I mean, in general, I think she would feel more... As an English woman, she would feel more comfortable there than in Scotland.
Oh, for the time period?
Yeah, for the time period. So
the over-the-topness of this time period, too. Yeah. They were like, we are in France. Look at all these naked peoples.
Big skirts, lots of tits.
Yes. Speaking of the costumes, it was so fun. I kind of like that they weren't all historically accurate because...
It's just more fun that way.
I mean, it does make it kind of like... It is weird. To be honest, like when like her new look crossed with the 18th century look, like it was kind of weird, but in a good way. It's more representative of her fun, adventurous personality. This is what I'm not trying to blend in, you know?
She does know the future fashions. So for her to blend, it makes sense because it exists in the past to her versus for them, that fashion may not actually be a thing that's really happened yet. So her time bending is technically not weird.
It's also very entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't look like all the other girls there. Yeah. So, there is that factor.
Plus, it's probably, the thing is, like, especially with her knowing about it being sort of like a history buff because of how she grew up, this was probably, like, such fun, like, where you just get to play around. It's like literally playing dress up, dream dress up,
Yeah, right?
Especially if she'd ever gone to a museum and saw all the fancy outfits, and as a little girl being like, oh, I'd love to be able to wear one of those one day. Surprise! You're in Versailles. You get to wear one.
Yes, right? This is your chance.
Right?
Make your skirt as big as you want.
Yes. The doors will fit.
Yeah,
Just
right.
don't get too close to candles because you will burn. You will not be able to escape. I've read random history things about that, how like if you're at like an event and a fire happens, and how not all women make it alive because you can't get through the doors at the same time.
I accidentally caught parchment paper on fire yesterday.
Just imagine a whole hoop skirt.
Right. We did briefly hear about the Comte again. So he's spreading some rumors or something. He's willing to talk about it. So he's not happy, but he seems to be kind of like a back burner villain right now. I bet he's just gonna throw a wrench in the works when they're trying to figure out something.
I would love if he became an unexpected ally. I think I'm just tired of villains.
Ooh, you know who was a great unexpected ally this episode? The Minister of Finance.
Right? That was funny.
Because he was so skeevy, but then he was so, like, chill with it when it turned out he was completely wrong and completely inappropriate.
He was, I'm skeevy if you want the skeevy.
And it was extra funny, too. When Jamie just pushed him over, and it was, like, nothing.
It wasn't even a fight. It was
it was like, you're gone.
And the fact that he was all into her feet. I mean, they looked really nice in those shoes, I will say.
Yeah, those shoes are gorgeous.
But and it
that
just made
whole
it more
sequence
comical.
was so great. And then he has to put on the wet wig again.
But nothing will top having to get the king to take a shit.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So that is something I knew, not about the pooping thing, something I knew about the courtiers watching the king, and that's how he controlled his court. He was like, if you want stuff from me, you gotta help me, like, watch me. And he kind of like was able to use that to his advantage of keeping all his people there at court, and then they weren't all wandering around plotting rebellion.
Yeah, basically, they can't plot against you if they're there.
If they're there watching you poop.
Yeah.
So
funny.
But I didn't know that he was going to be on the toilet. So, because I'd heard of that kind of custom, but
it's not really something you usually see in most shows.
Yes.
That's not really the side they're trying to throw at you, just the parties, not the shit beforehand or lack thereof.
And then I was really glad to see more flirty moments with her and Jamie in this episode. It's obviously not a complete return because he's still haunted by Blackjack, but the fact that we get to see the progression in the relationship, and I'm glad we didn't lose that, because it is one of my favorite things about the show, Claire and Jamie's relationship, and I just want to see them build even more on it, because like we said, it's not like they froze once they got together. They still have these moments together, and the relationship can still change and develop and grow even deeper, even though they're already married and together. And that's one of my favorite things about the show.
Right.
So,
yeah, it doesn't just stop at, like, okay, we're good.
We're together now.
Like,
we don't know what to do with them.
Which happens so often in shows.
Yeah, so.
I remember watching Bones, and the minute they got together, it was boring AF. Well, it's a good
unique
skill.
It's unique for Outlander.
Yes,
let's just say.
It is a good thing.
The Stewart, this was Charles Stewart, who's the son of James Stewart, who's the one they're trying to put on the throne. So we don't know what James Stewart's personality is. But Charles is not suited to be fighting a rebellion, clearly. He's
an aristocrat.
Yeah, but he's clearly unaware of the realities of what's going on.
Yeah.
And then unfortunately it's going to get people killed. Because the way we see the people in Scotland waiting for their king to come back, and
they believe they actually have a real plan.
Yes.
Not just some
hopes
daddy's
and dreams
kid.
And beliefs that he owns it. It's his.
Basically the birthright of it's mine.
Yeah,
that's my toy. Not actually caring about the land or caring about the people, just about what belongs to them. And that's not how you're going to win the rebellion.
But yeah, like I said, James might be a different, kettle of fish. He might be a different personality, one who's more suited to be a king than Charles is. Yeah. But
or maybe they all suck.
Yeah, they probably all do.
Yeah, they probably
to be honest.
Most kings do.
But the fact that they're meeting in a brothel, and it didn't seem like like you said, it was like kind of he's there unofficially, so like maybe that's one of the reasons so they could secretly meet. But honestly, I think they could have come up with a different way if he was a more serious personality. Well, but it seemed a lot to me that he didn't want to give up that entertainment time.
Yeah, he just wanted to have fun. So he wasn't. That was not how he was expecting the meeting to go. It expected to be like, oh yeah, we're behind you. Oh cool, let's have a drink and then watch a show.
Yeah,
so
that's definitely what it felt like to me.
Not what he was thinking would happen.
It was an interesting scene, though, because I really thought... Because Jamie, I think, was really trying to put the seriousness into him so that he wouldn't want to do this rebellion. Like, this isn't going to go the way you want, even though I'm, like, pretending to be your friend. But I was really worried that it was going to, like, backfire and he'd be, like, you know, like, raring to go.
Well, I think he expected to meet a man of substance and then realized that that is not who you are meeting. But that also almost makes me wonder, you know, if the entire season, will they go the route of sabotaging the rebellion? Or will they get sucked in and be like, instead of sabotaging it, let's just improve it.
That was one of my concerns in the last episode, that they wouldn't be able to do it because of how much he loves, like, the Scottish people and their belief in him. But after meeting him, I think it makes it even more likely that he wouldn't want to support him. You know, because he's such... Since they know that people are going to die, watching his Scottish people die for this douche idiot. I mean, he's not really a douche because we haven't seen him be mean, but he's stupid. But then I think that makes Jamie even more likely to want to sabotage it. But
the thing is, we still haven't met the other players higher ups in the Jacobite Rebellion, so we could still get a lot of surprises.
Totally. I'm not saying that... That's just like... I think it lessens my theory from the last episode because of how incompetent this prince clearly is, and Jamie can see it clear as day.
Yeah.
So
fascinating.
Yeah. Not as how I expected it to go with the whole meeting, but...
And still barely nothing on Claire being pregnant.
Yeah, right, they mention it.
She's, at this point, 4 months? Probably?
I don't remember how long the ship ride was, but they've been there. They've been in... 3 months, I think, because I wrote down 3 months. I don't remember why I wrote down 3 months.
Because
clearly there was a flash.
Yeah, it said 3 months.
And then there was 2 weeks later.
Yeah, so I feel like she's got to be 4 months pregnant.
At least.
Yeah. So... Yeah, I'm surprised it's not been brought up at all, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess she's not having any problems, you know, then whatever.
Right.
Interesting.
How does she get back to the future, though? Okay.
Well, we know that it has to happen. If this is the same pregnancy, we know it has to happen within the next 5 months.
No. I don't think it's the same pregnancy anymore. Because of the way that we were talking... I mean, in order to be the same pregnancy, the battle had to have been moved up. Because we know that she went forward during the battle of whatever.
Yeah.
However... Yeah, I mean, and we have seen her change history with Blackjack Randall's death, clearly. But I don't think that it was. I think that either she has this child and loses him, like, you know, something goes wrong, or, I don't know.
And the thing is, I do not believe that she has a son
that she just left in the past.
Yeah, because she would not do that.
Yeah.
Or at least if she did, she would not have been able to move on.
Yeah.
That would have been impossible if she had a son stuck back there. So
That's true.
I do not believe she has a son in the past. Either the battle did get moved up and it happens within the next 5 months, or they lost a child.
Yeah.
So
one or the other. Because the thing is, if it's already been that much months since we had this time jump here, she'd be showing in the future. Like... I mean, not everybody shows,
but she'd be at least showing a little bit.
Yeah.
She's not showing at all.
So...
Or, is she lying? Maybe she's not pregnant. Maybe it was just to try to Hail Mary.
No, I think she's really pregnant. But, yeah, I think that it's got to be a different baby at this point, just because she's not showing. And I feel like this is the kind of show where they put that kind of in... They would put that detail.
Yeah,
they
showed
nursing details for Jenny, like how she would have to nurse on the road. So I don't think this is the kind of one where they're just like lazy and they're like, nah, it doesn't really matter. Nobody's going to care that she's not showing after this many months, you know?
Right.
So I think it has to be a different baby.
And I don't think they would not have a plan, you know, like they did this and they didn't make the point of A to B. Like they did the first episode, but they didn't have it fully fleshed out for the season, and so it's not gonna...
The question is, does she successfully have a baby, and then the baby dies because the high rate of death, or does she lose the baby?
Yeah.
So, either way, it's very, it would be very sad.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Because we did already learn that it wasn't, the whole reason she hadn't had a kid previously wasn't because of her, it's that Frank was infertile.
Yeah.
But that also doesn't mean... It could also still technically be, you know, we still don't know how she's going to do as a pregnant woman.
Yeah, it's the moving on thing that gets me, because otherwise I could believe that the baby was born back there and left with, like, Jenny or something.
Not be able to do that so easily. Just being... It's one thing to leave your husband, it's another to leave your child.
I mean, maybe the show could come up with a valid reason if it does occur, But I can't, off the top of my head right now, cannot think of a way it could work with Claire's personality.
Yeah.
So
she would be too broken for that, for sure. So a lot to think on. That's what we've got. A lot to think about.
More theories and
probably all wrong.
Such an enjoying episode.
Yes. I am really liking this season so far. I am sad that Jack Randall's not dead. I am really interested to see some of the other side of his family, though. Like, if they don't bring him back and we see more of his brother and the annoying Duke of Sandringham, I don't mind that. Whatever. Because at least that's sort of new villain. Because it's a new side of the Duke. Because previously we just saw the Duke as sort of like a hodgepodgey,
bumbling,
stupid, kind of guy. But
because we were even thinking that maybe Black Jack Randall threatened him.
Right.
But I think he just didn't like Claire and was like, well, I'm not,
he doesn't like being told what to do.
He was one of those guys who like pretends to be nice to your face.
Yeah.
But is reality like the meanest person.
Yeah.
Like, I think he's fully aware
frenemy.
Maybe of what Black Jack Randall does. He just doesn't give a shit.
I don't really, yeah.
So
basically.
When that face he gave Claire, I was just,
yep. He's just a jerk.
Yeah. Very excited for episode 3. That was really fun.
I hope we get to see more of the apothecary. I know it's just a little thing, but I still really want to see more. Honestly, I like the apothecary more than the dresses. I'm going to say it.
Well, you know what? In this episode, I mean, I know we were wrapping up, but a lot of the side characters were kind of attention stealers. Like her friend, who's all like over the top boudoir, naked. Right. I'm having to raise this ward who's clearly important for something, but we don't know what. And then, the apothecary with his wig and his looks and the whole set of his store and how he knows who she is and all this stuff. So,
it was fun.
And the financier's personality.
Honestly,
like, so many side characters.
Even Claire's maid.
Yeah, even Claire's maid's desperation to clean up after her.
So adorable. I loved it. So, yes.
Yeah.
Great. Another great episode. Just add it to the pile.
Right.
Did you, since this is sort of our first big glimpse into France and the like aristocrat kind of world,
the court,
what was your favorite part of the court? Is there a particular outfit you really enjoyed? Did you think the whole thing with the king on the toilet was really funny, or sort of the scandalous, like, laissez-faire sexy vibe?
And what do you think about Claire's mishmash of the future and past fashion?
And the bright red dress that got her a look from the king,
right? I'm not sure what that look was, but hopefully it's not a bad one.
I didn't think it was a bad one. I thought it was sort of like a, hey, kind of look. But that's just me. Do you think do you think the king gave Claire a look? You know what I'm saying?
Okay, you're being disturbing now. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe because it helps us out with the YouTubes. And
we will see you all later.
Bye.
Well, if I could reach them, I would, but I do step stool, and that's a lot of work.
Living the short life.
You were just like all over the place there. You're like, I don't know what I'm saying.
I have no idea. I'm out of it.
You just skipped the intro. How rude.
Oh, shit. That was like a crime, skipping the Outlander intro.
I know.
I apologize.